inner thought.
Yeah, right.
Like, bro, why the fuck did you say that, bro? Why would you say that? You know, I didn't. You feel me? I didn't need to know that.
Right.
But like, it's like the way, like the vulnerability, like you
Yeah.
say. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even when it comes to that, that was just like a space I wanted to tap into. Well, especially like with like getting older, bro.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and I was recording music at 20 years old. But I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
At 40 that I was at 20.
Yeah.
And how they even say how rap is now, oh, it's a young man's game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not true.
Yeah, you know.
Go. I'm gonna cut you off, but
no.
like that's one of the things that I've been talking and saying to a couple different artists, because like I'm 35, and so I've and I'm 35, but I also, just as much as I'm a creator and I enjoy like big, and I enjoy hip hop, the culture on a wide level. I'm just as much invested in local hip hop and in 815 hip hop. So it's always been really important to me to listen to as much of the music that get made here, keep up with as many artists' journey here as possible. And so as I've been having these conversations with people, I've had some conversations with people where me and them, you know, we both 35 or we both 36, or they a couple years older than me, and we in sort of that same age range. And I had a few people where maybe they 30 to 35, and then a few people that's 25 to 20, and I think maybe a few people too that's been under 25. And one of the things that I've been really preaching to the people that's still in their 20s as they doing it is that, you know, you shouldn't view hip hop like you view the NBA or you view the NFL. And that's what the outside world will tell you. And it's like, if you ain't got it after 18, 19, if you ain't get a scholarship to a D1 school, like you got a little journey ahead of you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like you get, maybe you only got to a D2 or D3, you're gonna have to do a whole lot of work so that you can get to the D1, so you can get to the NBA. And then if you like 23, 24, 25, and you ain't found a way to get into the NBA yet or somewhat, you know what I'm saying? You start sort of getting locked out and you sort of don't have a way to get into some of these leagues like that. But the way you should view hip hop, and you should view a music or being an artist in general, is less like athletes and more like being a doctor or more like being a lawyer. Like if you 24 years old and you finishing up medical school, nobody finna say nothing to you about why you not doing open heart surgeries or why you ain't saw Parkinson's disease or nothing like that. No, they gonna understand like this part of your journey. You know, like this is at 24 years old, this is you learning and you getting certain experiences. And, you know, if you go into the hospital, you know, you finna have open heart surgery. I don't necessarily want the nigga that's the 25-year-old prodigy that, you know, shot up through the ranks real quick. Like, let me go ahead and get the dude that's like 45 years old, you know, who done put in time and done seen a couple different things and know certain, you know, ways around certain things and can identify things that you can only identify through experience, you know. And the same thing, you know, being a lawyer. Like if somebody 20, 25, 26 years old and they just finished passing the bar exam and they just in their first law firm and they just doing the paperwork there, nobody looking at them and being like, oh, you done failed because you don't run your own law firm, you know, and you ain't got a building with 5 stories on it and lawyers working for you. They understand that this is a process part of your journey, you know. And if you know, I done, you know, sat in courtrooms before, like, and when it's time for trial, like, I don't want the prodigy, you know, who done shot up here and maybe he's really special because he did this earlier than other people. I want the dude that's 45 years old that know how to give me a directed verdict, you know what I'm saying, off of technicality because he just has seen so many different things. And so I've been telling a lot of like some of the younger artists that like that's the way that you should view, you know, being an artist. That's the way you should view creating music, especially with streaming, you know, especially with how things is digital. You know, we grew up in a time where physical copies where, you know, it's gonna be kind of hard to have a good business model of reprinting up your physical CD from 2 years ago to push it again in 2 years once you done maybe hit a certain level. But that's not the case with streaming. You know, with streaming, it's all there. So the first time somebody get introduced to you, they go back and they get your whole back catalog. The same way that, you know, I was telling people like with TV shows, just a lot of people, they ain't never seen The Wire before. They gonna get on HBO Max, they gonna see The Wire, and they gonna binge the whole 5 seasons, and they gonna have the exact same experience as somebody who watched it when it was on TV and was watching it season to season. Whereas back in the day, you would have to go try to get the box of the seasons to be able to watch it, you know, when that's just not the case no more. And so, you know, you should keep pushing. Don't ever think that it's no type of age limit or nothing like that on here.
No, there's definitely not. Because if you're better, if you can articulate yourself better at 40 than you could at 20, then do it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Then do it. Because it's like at 40, you gonna say things like, You gonna even be looking back. I listen to some of the old music, some of my
Yeah.
old music. Oh damn, what you was on?
Right.
What you was on?
Yeah.
You feel me? What you was on? Like what you was on? You know, I feel like now it's just important to tap into the person.
Yeah.
It's important to tap in, and I mean, as far as like the artist, right?
Yeah.
Tap into like who you are,
Yeah.
what you got going on, how do you view this? You feel me? And
Breaking down design, they got a purple tint to me. And the 815 every night a murder mystery. Tossing, turning in your sleep, it's hard to get relief. No time to speak, so keep it brief. My mission incomplete.
I still can't believe your ass gone. Somehow I can't honor that. Damn, I miss you, Black Tone. All I knew was Fond du Lac. Damn, I used to have songs about me wanting round it back. Now bullets flying over niggas' heads as if they John Morant.